Hey, Poodle fam, how we doing? Hopefully you are good today. All right, making sure we are live and good. I got the chat open. You can see I'm back in a hotel room, but I'm in a hotel room in Los Angeles this time. Uh, we just had an election yesterday here in the States. I'm going to talk about that probably next week. Not everything is actually set, takes time to count votes and all that, but I'll probably talk not politics, but talk about um, just how usually gridlock is good for good for economics and might be good for us, might not be good for us. So I'll look at a little bit of that probably next week. So going to avoid that today. Instead, today what I'm talking about is Metaverse. Metaverse. Hopefully, you all enjoyed the great spaces that we held last Friday. We had, our partners on there with Lakeview and Cola Mars, right? They were on the spaces as well, talking about things they're doing. But I'm actually today at at a conference that's put on by Times Higher Education. They're actually the number one largest kind of media research organization in the higher education vertical. They're based out of London. They're actually the ones that put together the world rankings for colleges and everything. So they're hosting their global event here in Los Angeles. So I'm speaking in a little bit on. I'll be speaking obviously like I keep speaking. So give Poodle a little shout out there, but also. I was at an event last night with a lot of the bigwigs, people from Dreamscape and people from some private equity firms, as well as leading schools in higher education who are doing metaverse stuff. And we were talking about kind of what it means for the future of education, what it means for the future of the globe, and those types of things. Well, it was interesting, and I then started thinking, well, what does it mean really for crypto? How are we tied together? How are we not tied together? Is the metaverse actually important for us, or is it just nice to have a little bit of a partnership? That's really the question. That's the question that I wanted to throw out there. And so really, that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how we have, we have a unique opportunity. Also, where and why? Why does a crypto token? Why do we need to be thinking about the metaverse? And exactly what is it? So one of those things. So the first thing to think about, and I noticed this in the conversations last night, is that once you say metaverse, everybody started jumping to goggles and VR and AR. And I made the point in our conversation that metaverse is not necessarily AR and VR. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. What we recognize is that we're really still really early in this. And so therefore, it hasn't really been defined yet. It hasn't really been defined as to which way it's all going to work out, pan out, and all of that. And even with a group of the who's who in the industry sitting around at dinner having to say, well, hold on, if we're talking metaverse, we have to talk about it being a virtual world, like Lakeview or Crolon, but, the Minecrafts or all the way back to Club Penguin for those who were part of that, right? Those virtual worlds. That's really what the metaverse is, and what we can do with it is what's going to become important. We know that whether it be Decentraland or Sandbox, all the big players in the game right now, is different than AR and VR. Now, we obviously have our Poodle token NFTs that are AR and VR related. In fact, we have really augmented reality NFTs. But you can you buy it, you open up your app, and you can put the poodle anywhere in real life and geocache. So that's one thing. But also, the metaverse is its whole other thing. And that's really where I want to get to today. I want to talk about, is it something that we should be thinking about as a crypto? Obviously, we want to create partnerships, right? Absolutely. But what is the advantage for us? Is it something to say we want to be a currency, or is there something more? In the last couple days, obviously, CZ with Binance kind of, there's been a whole bunch of a dump, and I hate to say when I'm right, but again, I think 2 weeks in a row, I'm still standing by what I believe with the market going up and up over the holidays. I think that we're going to see that, but this last week we had a sell-off. We had a little bit of a mini crash. That's just the nature of it. We were on the Telegram yesterday and just saying like, who else but Poodle? We see a crash in the market and we get together and we just laugh about it, because what else are you going to do but laugh about it? That's all we can do, is laugh about it. So that's where I think that we need to recognize, then where is the advantage? What does it mean for us? I'm going to say, that this is another advantage of kind of this ecosystem. What we have and what we're going to see as we come out of the bear market is that people are going to start to search and look for things that have added utility. Obviously, we talk about utility as in the things you can also do. That's a good way of saying utility. Besides just being a token or a currency that you can be traded and has value that goes up and down. It's what else can you do? We have our NFTs, of course, and we have our payment gateways and all of those things. But Metaverse is a unique utility, because with that gives us an opportunity. It gives us an opportunity to actually create a community that can actually live on its own. Right. This is where, when we were talking last night about, what does Metaverse have to do with education? And obviously, that as Poodle, we have a Metaverse project we're working on that's part of kind of the academy, and we're doing it and what we're doing even at USC. So more to come on that. In fact, that's actually opening up in about 3 weeks. So it'll be some great stuff I'll be showing you all there. But what we want to recognize is that the metaverse is more than just a gaming platform. It's more than just entertainment. It's more than just a fake identity. It's more than, as we used to hear about, Second Life and those types of things. It's more than an escape. It actually gives people an opportunity to have digital equity. It gives people an opportunity to connect in a way they can't do in real life. They can do it, and they can do it safely. They can do it together in ways that they can now define their own identity, their own future, and be who they want to be, both for good and for bad, of course, but really for good. If we look at, for example, Lakeview, where we have the Poodle Hub there, where we can come and gather together. Now, can you do that on a Telegram? Sure you can. But the fact is, that's a chat. What we can do in a metaverse is that we can come together and define a second type of community. And that's where I think there's going to be value. What we're going to see is how metaverses start to grow, and even talking to some of the big players in the space last night. This is beyond gaming, right? We think about metaverse because we've come from being gamers, and we love putting games in the metaverse, and we love driving our Lambos around. But the fact is that the metaverse is going to be a completely digitally connected world. Right now, the number one thing that has a problem in the metaverse, and this was brought up by some of the developers, was that there's too many people in the game creating their own ecosystem. And for it to really work, and for Web3 to really work, we need to treat it like Web2. What we need to see is every website, of course, works on whatever platform you're in, right? If you're a Windows person or a Mac person or You like Safari, Chrome, whatever, you open up a web browser and your website works. Yeah, there's slight tweaks, but essentially there's a common language. Well, right now, Metaverse doesn't have a common language, even though, yes, a bunch of them are written on some gaming codes. In reality, it's not consistent across. What we want to see and what will start to happen is that metaverses will be like your apps. Just like you have a phone and you open up your app for whatever you want to do, whether it be an Amazon, or you want to open up your app for your banking, or you open up your app for social media, and you live within that app, right? And of course, what those companies want is they don't want you ever to leave that app. They want you to stay in that and kind of make it your go-to. Well, metaverses will be the same thing. They will just be virtual worlds that you can, grow your own identity within. It is a web browser on steroids, right? Right now we see gaming things, and I think they're great. I think that what we're doing with Crolon, what we're doing with Lakeview Meta are amazing, but that's only the beginning. Think about when you can create your life, and if you have, if you were to take even, say, Facebook Meta, why did they change their name? Because they want you to actually be in that world. Can you imagine a Facebook page that isn't just a page you scroll, but it's a place you go into and you walk from business to business. You interact with others from there. It's not just an ad you click, but it's something that you become immersed in. That's the goal. That's the long-term goal of the metaverse for all of the big players who are throwing money into it. If you look at how much money Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Meta are putting into these platforms, it is huge. But why, and what is their end game? Their end game is for you to be able to have an avatar, to be in their world, to actually live in this virtual space. They want you to be able to do all of your banking. They want you to be able to do all of your social interaction. They want you to be able to order a pizza. They want you to be able to go to school. They want you to even be able to go to work within one platform. Now, hopefully over time, what's going to happen is these platforms will talk to one another, just like Web 2, HTML, HTML5 is able to. Web 3 can, but it's not set yet for it to really happen well, especially because of all the number of blockchains that are still popping up. They can't even talk well to one another across chains. So there's still work to do, but let's keep the long-term goal in mind. The long-term goal is for you to live, breathe, and make it your first stop. When you wake up in the morning, you go into that world and you find out what it's like. Maybe you can, you step in virtual reality or in the metaverse reality, you can see what the weather is like from your office, right? You just click your office in real time, you see what it's like or what your drive is going to be like. You can see how the freeways go. These are all the things that we're going. We're taking the world of our two-dimensional apps and putting them into the three-dimensional, or the, Web 3. I guess not necessarily three-dimensional, but why not? And that's really what we're looking to do. So is it important for crypto? Absolutely important for crypto. We talk about it as in POODL, as in right now, can we be a community? Can we be a currency within metaverses? Absolutely, because a metaverse then doesn't have to create their own currency. We can be something within that. Now, in general, why is it important for crypto? It's important for crypto because, and here it is, the volatility of crypto right now. We saw that in one day what Binance could do is shake up a market and just get things jumping around everywhere. We see the power that Elon has in one tweet, who can screw up a market. We see what governments voting, things like that can do to mess with markets. And we know that the volatility of crypto is its weakness. We believe in it as a future, but its volatility is its weakness. So that's why a metaverse is important. Metaverses create a stability, just like a normal web page creates a stability. The fact is, there have been studies that, and I've seen them, that people feel more comfortable on an Amazon website than they do on almost any other website. It's a home to them. And that says a lot about Amazon, how they have trained retail people to think about that as your first go-to stop. It used to be that people would Google a product. Now they go to Amazon and they type it in, and then they might go. But there we go. Looks like I'm coming back. The good old hotel Wi-Fi, everyone. So welcome to your buffering. So that's the thing that we're going to start to notice. We're going to notice that people when metaverses take over, we won't even call it, I don't even think, and this was the good conversation from last night, that we probably won't even call it metaverse. It's just going to be the internet. Like right now, it's just a way of interacting. It's a way of separating, and it's a buzzword for saying what's different than a normal web page. There will be a point where you open up your phone or you do whatever and you enter into that virtual world automatically just in hitting the app. It's already starting to get done, and that's exactly what they want to have happen. And when you look at the money being thrown into by these big players, that is their goal, to capture you. So is that important for crypto? Let's go back. Why is it important for crypto? Because once the metaverse goes, once Web3 goes, where's money going to go? Money is already moving on to the blockchain. People already need currencies to be able to interact. Your bank account, your fiat won't be around forever, right? And in fact, there's conversations that normal fiat won't even be around in the next 50 years, that all finances will move onto the blockchain. All money will be moving onto the blockchain. And that's why it's important for crypto holders, because we have an early opportunity. Because the fact is, it's going to get there and it's going to do it no matter what. And so that's why it's important that we support as many, metaverses as we can. The more that we're in there, the more we can cross brand. If you think about Amazon, I love the Amazon example. Amazon makes its own products, right? But they also thrive off of partnership products, right? They sell other people's stuff while they have their own brands. And a lot of metaverses are doing the same thing. That's exactly what Facebook's going to do. When they open up their metaverse, they're going to create community areas, community groups, but they're going to sell other people's stuff. They're going to use currencies of other people's currencies. A lot of the metaverses we're seeing right now are already starting to do that. They're allowing you to bring your NFTs into things. They're allowing you to do to become your life inside of it. And that's important, okay? And so that's why, as crypto people, we need to be invested into the metaverse. As Poodle, we need to make as many metaverse connections as we can. We need to invest in the ones that are strong and we believe in, like Krolon and like Lakeview. And there's also others. This is what's important right now. Like I said, it's more like gaming, but in the future, it won't be. In the future, it's going to be a lot more of what you consider as a website itself. That's the goal. I'm excited about it for education. You're going to love what we're doing when I'm able to share it again. Supply chain put our opening up back by a few weeks. All the stuff is in, but you'll see it soon. I've already teased out some things with the NFT art gallery and some of the hologram production spaces and the esports lab. But you're going to start to see how that transforms. And how living in that world, in the metaverse world, those become connected realities, right? They are the glue that holds everything together. Poodle can become part of that. And so that's kind of basically keeping this one shorter today. Why is the metaverse important to crypto? Because the metaverse, again, like I said, right now it's a buzzword. It's going to be just what we consider the internet in the next few years. Probably even less than that. And that's why as money starts to move digitally, and as you start seeing, will there finally be Facebook dollars and Amazon dollars and all of these things? Yes. And how we can tie those together and how we can become part of all of these worlds is important. So we love what we're doing. It's not a fad. People think metaverse is a fad. It's not. Just remember, think of it as a virtual world. Think of it as a web page on steroids. That's really what it is. There's huge opportunities for partnerships. What you're going to start to see are metaverses creating corporate partners where stores, the Gap or Old Navy will be in everyone's metaverse. Again, we need common languages for it to happen, and they can pop up shops all over the place. So whenever you're at the virtual mall or you're out there gaming, whatever you want to do, you hit your internal directory and you're right there at their shop. You're trying it on, you're doing it, you're ordering it, you're clicking it, you're buying it, and it's delivered to your door in 2 hours. That's the end game. And the thing is, from the conversation I had last night, we're not far off of it. It's a lot further down the road than we all even recognize. So it's an exciting time for it. More to come. I have another Metaverse thing. I'm actually at Streaming Media West, which is the main broadcast streaming conference next week. It's actually right down by my house in Huntington Beach. So I've got a couple extra Metaverse sessions this week. Some cool Web3 stuff next week that I'll bring you. And we will. It's an exciting time. Let's hang on through this bear market. Just laugh when you see the pumps and the dumps, and just keep working on building our brand, building our partnerships, building all that we can do, and we're going to see it all pay off in the end. That is for sure. So I'll make that one shorter. It looks like people are busy. I don't even have. We don't have anyone watching live. Only a couple people watching live today, but that's okay. I know a lot of people watch later. Also, this is that weird time where the time changed and the UTC time changed and all that stuff. So maybe people are thinking it's on an hour later. So anyway, you guys have a great week, Poodle fam. We'll see you all next time. Take care now.